We have the amazing Jalyn sharing some beautiful love and relationship insights with us today. All right, Jalyn, tell us a little bit about you.
Thank you, Leanne. I'm so happy to be here with you today. I'm so excited to talk about, love and relationships. And so thank you for this invitation. My name is Jalyn de Moors. I'm a recording artist based in Atlanta, Georgia. I have been singing and performing professionally for over 10 years. And I also started a coaching business just a few years ago so that I could pour into the next generation of singers, performers. And I love seeing people grow in their music and their confidence. And so music is something that I'm incredibly passionate about, and I'm fortunate to be able to have it as my career.
Ah, oh my goodness, I love that so much. I had the blessing and opportunity of hearing Jalyn like recently. Oh, it blew me out of the water. Her music, her voice is
Oh.
amazing. So if you get to listen to it, listen to her. And I love that you're coaching too. I had no idea you were doing that as well. So what a
Ah,
beautiful combination. I love it.
thank you.
That's so
Thank you,
cool.
Leanne.
So cool. All right. So tell us, how do you incorporate love into your business and life? And how does that impact your relationships?
Yeah, that's such a great question. So I believe that most things start with self-love, right? The way that I incorporate love into my business and life in general is by loving myself first. And that can look like so many different ways. When I first started my coaching business about 4 years ago, for example, I wasn't sure how to go about, sharing the material, or, sometimes when you talk about money, it's like, oh, do I, charge really low prices, or what is, my value on that? But the more that I learned about my own personal value, the more that I learned the importance of offering a service that in your heart is valuable. And so that's when my business started to transform, when I actually knew my worth, and that when I knew what I was offering was special and needed and valued. That's when the clients started to come. That's when I was asked to, it's when a lot of opportunities started to come, and it all stemmed from that self-love that I had within myself. And I think that it's important to really focus on that and to grow that self-love, because it can be easy to put our identity, in someone else's pocket, or say, okay, this is someone else's responsibility to love me, or to see my value. And I've been on the other end of wanting that. I've been on the other end of hoping that someone, would love me and all of these things. But when I started to really love myself, I mean, my business started to grow, my relationships were stronger, because I wasn't necessarily relying on anyone else. And I just saw everyone else's love as a bonus, right? Because I love myself first.
Yes, this is gold. I love this so much. Self-love. I mean, that is, I'm so grateful that you teach that, that you share that, and that you've experienced that, both ends of it.
Yeah.
Beautiful, because it does make a difference. I think often we think, wait, no, we got to love all the other people. No, if we love ourselves first, then it's so much easier to connect and love all the other people. Beautiful. Oh,
Yes,
so good.
100%.
Mhm. So tell me something that you love about you and why.
Mm. Something that I love, that I've always been this way. I remember when I was young. I was probably around 8 or 9 years old, and I had this vision in my head of, and just bear with me. It was, I was only 8 years old, but I envisioned myself holding this basket of fruit, right? And I envisioned myself walking around these villages overseas, helping people and feeding people and trying to solve this hunger crisis. And so even at a young age, I was always looking for opportunities to serve, and I saw a need and I wanted to help people. And so, that desire to serve has carried through, these last few decades, and it's really come through my music. And am so blessed to be able to sing and perform, and I see it as a service.
Yes.
I truly see it as a service. And before any performance, whether I'm singing in front of, a crowd of 50 people or a crowd of 20,000 people, before I step on that stage, I just say a quick prayer and I pray that I will be a vessel, right? I pray that I'll be a vessel for God. And I pray that I'll be able to be of service for those people who need it. And, there's usually a few people who will come up to me after their performance or call me or send a text, um, maybe on Instagram, and they'll say, man, your music really touched me, or I really felt so much love. And that is the biggest reason as why I sing. It's
Mm.
because of that service. It's because of the love that I have for life, the love that I have for love, right? And spreading that. And so I love that I have always been focused on service. And I think, going back to, your first question, right? How do you incorporate love into business and relationships? I think that you can have both, right? That self-love and that love for others. And I truly think that love first starts from within, because your love for others just grows exponentially when you do love yourself. So yeah, serving others is such a special part of my life.
Ah, that's so beautiful. And I could feel it. Like I
Mm,
love that you recognize and that is your focus to serve others.
mm,
Because I mean, back to the basic commandments, love thy neighbor as thyself. We're talking about others and ourselves. Like you are
yes.
meshing that together so
Mm,
beautifully. I love that, Jalen. Thank you. Thank you.
thank you. Thank
So
you.
so I love talking about connection with others and ourselves, like we've said. And I think that the daughter-in-law relationship is packed full of examples for us to learn from. So any thoughts about the mother-in-law, daughter-in-law relationship that you'd like to share?
Yeah, I am a daughter-in-law myself, so I have a mother-in-law, and it's a relationship that I'm still, I think, figuring out, and I think she's figuring out too. And I'm sure that many people with an in-law or with a mother-in-law or who's a daughter-in-law are, may also be in the same boat. And I wish I had all the answers, but what I would say is that what you pour into the relationship is what you get out of the relationship. And I think it's a two-way like tandem uh group effort, right? One person can't be, pouring more and the other one's not. It's an equal partnership. And so, I think if you imagine a flower, right, in a flower pot, I think that you you too can set the expectations of how you want that flower to grow and how you want it to look like. And so I think that while I'm still figuring it out, I know that, you know, other relationships that I have, right, that outside of my mother-in-law, they either thrive or they, fall apart based on how much, we pour into them. And so I think that it really just comes down to the effort that you put in, and being honest, with your feelings.
Yes.
And sometimes that's not easy. Sometimes that's not easy at all. And to be vulnerable and to be honest and share your heart. And um I think that if you have uh you know a mother-in-law who's willing to listen, then be open about those things. And hopefully you're a daughter-in-law who's also open to hear, maybe suggestions on how your relationship can get stronger, right? I think that relationships in general require honesty and vulnerability, um and loving criticism, if you will, right? Loving criticism, maybe there's a better word for it. But um so I think that I think that what you pour into it, you get out of it. And hopefully, the daughter-in-law and the mother-in-law um have that desire to be closer. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Because if
Mhm.
one isn't, then it may just not be the thriving relationship that it could be, right?
Mhm.
So
Yep.
what you pour in, you get out of it.
I love that. What you pour in, you get out. And the flower example, just thinking of that, because I mean, that is a relationship that is gonna kind of, I don't want to say waffle, but we don't know. I mean, we'll just keep going through life doing it. So I think that is the honesty, the vulnerability, the being
Mhm.
willing to share, hey, you're kind of ticking me off right now or whatever, and knowing that's okay because when you do have that connection where you feel like you can show up as you, that is gold. And just
Mhm.
being willing to pour that in, even though mother-in-law may not like it or she may not be listening to it or whatever,
Sure,
you know. So,
sure,
so
definitely.
yeah, yeah, so
Yeah,
good. I love that.
yeah. One more thing that I would add with that
Yeah.
is I think it's okay to ask for help, right? If you're
Yes.
wondering, hey, how do I go about, talking to, my mother-in-law, or maybe your mother-in-law is saying, how do I go about talking to my daughter-in-law about these things? I think it's okay to ask for help, right? Ask for help from others, daughter-in-laws or mother-in-laws or your therapist or, a close friend that you trust. Say, hey, what is this experience like for you? And how do you go about navigating these things? Because I often feel like I have to have everything figured out or know everything, but the truth is you don't. You don't have to know everything. It's okay to be a student. It's okay um to not know everything and to learn. As vulnerable as it is, it's hard being the new kid in the class, or it's hard, learning a completely new subject. But that's where the growth happens. And so when you don't know something, I think it's okay to ask for help.
I am so glad you brought that up because that's what we do in my membership connection crew is talking about the relationships, whatever they are, mother-in-law, daughter-in-law, or any relationship. When you're willing to talk about it and figure out, hey, where am I at? And how can I ask for help? It makes all the difference in the world,
Yeah.
connecting both with yourself and with whoever you want to get closer to.
Yes.
So good.
Yes, definitely.
So, so
Hmm.
good.
Hmm.
So, is there anything else that you want to share? And where can our audience go to find out more about you?
Yeah. So, for those of you who want to follow along my musical journey, you can go to the link in the show notes, and there you can find a link to all of my music. You can also find a link to contact me personally, and we can inquire about a performance, or if you want to get into coaching, that's where you can contact me directly.
Ah, I love that. And follow and contact Jalyn. She's amazing. So, yes, I highly encourage that. And if you get to hear her music, go because it is so beautiful. So,
Thank you.
so tell me, what is your favorite quote about love and how have you used it for yourself and in your relationships?
So, my favorite quote about love is, it says, "What a privilege it is to love and be loved." Truly, love is a privilege. And, I think in relationships, there are high moments and there are low moments. And I think I've personally learned that some of the low moments are caused because of the love that you have for, maybe this other person, right? And I think that when you love, you're leaving yourself open to the good, the not so great, right? And sometimes the messy.
Yes.
And recently, this past summer, just a few months ago, my father actually passed away unexpectedly, and I've been thinking about our relationship and all of the things that he did for me, and I was like, man, this pain that he's gone is so great, and it's because my love for him is so great, right? The pain that he's gone is because of the pain, is because of the love that I have for him. And I thought, man, what a privilege it is to love, right? As painful as it can be, um I think that it truly is a privilege, you know.
Mhm.
I think that life would be pretty bleak and pretty sad if we didn't have love, even though love comes with grief, right? Love comes with hardships. Love comes with unexpected challenges, right? Whether that's with a friend that we love or a partner that we love or a child that we love, or, you know, sometimes we may let our own selves down because we're not perfect, right? And so, um, love, I think love in all forms is a privilege, right? That ability to feel love, that ability to feel joy, um, that ability to feel that pain, right? For someone who you've lost, it's because you have loved. And so, what I do almost every day is I set an intention for my day. And so anyone that I come in contact with, I say, you know what, even if this is the last time, you know, that I see this person, I want them to feel loved.
Mm.
I want to have a beautiful day, a full of love, full of joy, and unexpected miracles. And so, I think love can truly be the driving factor for all that we do, right?
Yeah.
Love for ourselves, our partners, love in our business, and all of those dealings, and so forth. So, we can remember that, right? Love is a privilege. It's a privilege to love and be loved.
Oh my goodness, Jalen, and I'm so sorry about your dad. That I can't imagine how difficult that is. And I do love how you've tied in love so much to it and the privilege of that. Like love is just, I think it's one of the best emotions to feel. And
Mhm.
it's not a perfect, it's messy and it's all the things.
Yeah,
I love that you brought that up because there's so much to that. What a privilege it is to be loved, or let me try that again. What a privilege it is to love and be loved.
hmm,
Something to think about.
hmm,
So beautiful. Thank you, Jalen,
yes.
for sharing your love insights with us today. So grateful you could join us and be here. Thank you.
Of course, Leanne, it was an absolute privilege. I've loved being able to talk to you today about love and all of those good things. So thank you so much. It was an
Ah,
honor.
mine as well. Thank you. Well, here is to self-love, to the privilege of being loved, to honesty, to vulnerability, to connection, and again, to love. Have a good one, y'all.